Back to Amon, who's tried hard all night. Again, he goes with a long one to full forward. Dixon juggles it, and he's going to be paid the mark. 25 out directly in front, Big Charlie. The kick will be after the siren, obviously. As Dixon wanders back with a footy.
Let's clear out the side.
He's kicked one tonight, the big fella. And that came in the second term. 37 points at the moment, Melbourne's way. To bring it back to 31 if he kicks the goal. And he has snuck it home. So a 31-point win to the Demons. 12-14-86 have defeated Port Adelaide in the end. 8-7-55 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So a big Melbourne win. They've stood up when it counted. Here at the Adelaide Oval, a big away win for Melbourne, 31 points.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every mouthpiece true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should all acquaintance be, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
Well, they'd lost 2 of their 3 games leading into this, Melbourne. They hadn't kicked big scores. In fact, it was only 50-odd points last week. They included Ben Brown. They travelled away from home. They came to Adelaide to take on Port Adelaide at a genuine top 4 sort of game, and they have run out big winners here, Melbourne, by 31 points, 12-14-86, and Port Adelaide 8-7-55, so 16 scoring shots. 26 scoring shots rather to 15. It's our Triple M Amy review who covers clangers. Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy. Let's head down to Christian Petrarca from the Demons.
We needed that. It's pretty disappointing last week. Felt like we came here in a pretty hostile environment. Port have got some amazing fans, and they're a great team. So to come here against a quality opposition who will be there in the premiership race was amazing. And yeah.
How important was this win given over, I think, the past 6 games? You've sort of been up and down after that great start, just to get some real confidence back.
Yeah, I think we got our aggressiveness back in this game. Our tackle intent was unreal right from the start, and our starts was good this game. We haven't been starting too well, so to come out and keep a team at home to 14 points in the first quarter is awesome.
You got on the end of a few too with 3 goals?
Yeah, got at the back a little bit, so it's good. I mean, I got amazing players around me in Clayton and Gorney, and guys like Gussie Brayshaw and Alex Nilbull and Spargo who helped me play my game.
Of course, Clayton was fantastic in the middle of the game with his contested ball, but looking at your half-back line across there, they just couldn't penetrate it, and lots of talk about May and Lever and that, but Harry Petty settled in beautifully there.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable ever since Tomo's gone down.
Yeah.
He's so raw, he's such a good intercept marker, and he just needs that confidence in himself to have a game like this. He's an Adelaide boy, so he'll be doing it in front of his family.
Plenty of milestones as well tonight. Maxi Gorn 150.
Yeah, 300, so we've got Gorney 150, Sparks 50, and Langers 100.
So very important to win a night like that.
Yeah, unreal. Needed that. So that's for the fans who are watching back home who couldn't get over. So, yeah.
Christian, congratulations. Great individual effort, great team effort. Off to the Hawks next week.
Yeah, can't wait. It's a good game.
There he is. Thanks to our friends there at Channel 7, Christian Petrarca, who was absolutely outstanding here on the Adelaide Oval tonight. We're standing by to take you back down to an interview there on ground. Melbourne running out big winners by 31 points. And here he is, Tom McDonald.
Cosy Pickett got 3. They were coming from everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, look, we know we can score. We just had a bit of a dry patch for a few weeks. So, and we still probably missed a couple of gettable ones. What did we kick in the end? I think it was 10-10, probably kicking at 50%. So, yeah, I reckon we got improvement there.
Little pocket over there. You did a bit of Anthony Koutafides work and then spun around after the smother. That was very impressive.
Yeah, look, it wasn't looking very good after the smother. That looked pretty amateurish, but lucky enough to just get enough on the snap and looked all right in the end.
Just looking at the forward structure, Ben Brown coming in, played a really good role.
Yeah, he did a really good job. All we expected him was to give an option down the line. He did that, and I think it helped us function.
Well, Tommy, congratulations come through, mate. We're going to get you over there to go and sing the song. Mate, congratulations. You came to Adelaide.
Thanks to our friends there at Channel 7. The Demons running out winners by 31 points. As we look back on this game, we've got Mark Rasciuto and Bernie Vince, who've been in the C-Bus Super Special comments chairs all night, boys, take us through that. What did you make of it all?
Well, it's a huge win by Melbourne. They'll be absolutely stoked. Everyone was questioning their form a little bit coming in over the last few weeks. There's no doubt they've been down. They'd lost 2 of the last 3, but it was only just before the 2 weeks prior to that, they'd beaten Brisbane in Brisbane and they'd beaten the Bulldogs. So they're probably the 2 best sides going around in the competition. So the best is fantastic. They're getting the job done against the top 8 side. I think the story of the night's Port Adelaide. That may well be their worst performance for the year. I've just had a look at who they lost. They were badly beaten against Brisbane in Brisbane, but it's a much tougher assignment up there. They were badly beaten by West Coast in Perth by 37, but they're hard to beat over there as well. Cats, they lost it by 21 points at Adelaide, but the Cats are fantastic on that night. Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins were awesome, and they're beaten by the Dogs by 19 points as well. The Dogs are hard to beat. Tonight, I think 31 points flattered them. That could have easily have been 50, and you should not lose on your home deck by 50 points or around that. That's 15 scoring shots to 26. They did not fire a shot in the last quarter. Yeah, I reckon that might be their worst performance for the year.
Yeah, well,
Melbourne running out winners by 31 points. What do you want to add, Bern?
I just think that I'm a bit with Roo. I was expecting a bit more of a show from Port Adelaide, and easily could have been a bigger margin. You look at in the poor games that Port Adelaide have played against the top 4 sides, they've been blown out of the water with contested possessions and clearance. Tonight, only -3 clearance. But it's the contested possessions again, -15. They just get beaten up around the ball when they lose, and they end badly. But efficiency inside 50 is a problem too. I think I'm with you, Roo. I think they need to look at Marshall, because his output when the ball's coming in slow, he needs the ball to be moving perfectly. And as you said, in big games against big teams, it's proven that it doesn't move like that, and there's no bigger game than a final, and that if they're expecting to go anywhere in the finals, I think they need to bring in some stronger people in the contest for the ball.
Well, there's signs early. I mean, we spoke a lot about Aliir not staying in that defensive deepish role with the big forwards that Melbourne had, but early on he's moved into the ruck pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, halfway through the third quarter. It was early.
It was a preconceived idea.
Plan,
It actually just doesn't make any sense. He's not an aerobic beast. He's not Mark Blixarves from Geelong, who can do everything aerobically and go back and still play his role. He's not that. He's a power player. Leave him back there. Just don't use any energy, and when the ball comes down there, just go bang and do everything he's been doing all year. I just find that really strange. Be really, really interested to see why Ken Hinkley decided to move his best defender out to do that. It's just a real strange one to me.
As you said, it was the first change, so that's a pre-planned idea. It wasn't because of personnel or someone went down or someone was sore. He went in there as soon as Lysett went off. So, I mean, that's a coaching thing. That comes back to the coaches. And as you said, I would like to know the answer as well. Why Dixon didn't go in there? We've seen Dixon start in the centre bounce in some games here at Adelaide Oval, and that's how he's got into the game. So I just find it a little bit bizarre as well. That's not why they lost the game, mind you. They got beaten up around the footy.
But it could be.
But
it could be.
It could have changed. It could have changed it. You never know. But
if he was on McDonald when McDonald went nuts, he might not have.
Yeah.
I feel like Port was spooked tonight.
Yeah.
From a coaching perspective as well, Bird. Like you touch on, they were scared to move the ball with any sort of fluency because they were worried about Lever and May. They had this strange situation that Rube picked up very early with Aliir, and then he's ended up in the forward line at some stage. You sort of weren't sure whether composure was coming through the middle. Boak couldn't get his hands on the ball. And I think Simon Goodwin in the coaching department did a better job tonight.
Well, Melbourne, all their stars played well. Petrarca, 33 and 3. You don't get much better than that. Oliver had 31. He was 11 clearances. He was fantastic. Gawn was just dominant in the ruck. Their big man up forward, McDonald, was fantastic. Their small forward was fantastic. May was way too good for Dixon. Dixon kicked 2 goals but didn't have much of an influence at all, did he, really? I mean, It was a beating, wasn't it?
What about Melbourne? Like, I know, I listened to you two blokes before the game, and those in the know, neither of you were spooked by Melbourne at all. We talk about the 2 out of the last 3, and you were both pretty buoyant about Melbourne. Like, there was no panic from you blokes that know what's going on. They've come out tonight. They've won an important game for them by a 31-point margin. How impressive are they after round 17? They were just knocked off the top last week after one of those losses. But just the impression I got from you blokes tonight was there was no fear for you that Melbourne were going to come out and do a pretty good job tonight, and that's what happened.
The reason why they lost last week because they were beaten up around the footy, and that's not their game.
Yeah.
They got smacked in clearances, contested possession wasn't great, and the Giants just moved the ball better. The Giants actually played really good footy. I did that game last week, and I just knew that they could turn it around really quickly, and I had the confidence in them. Other people maybe not. People love writing Melbourne off, and they thought, and everyone the whole season's been, when's Melbourne going to fall? And they started to believe when Melbourne beat the Bulldogs, when they beat Geelong, when they beat Brisbane, and people wanted to believe. There's still that little doubt. Then they thought, here they go. Yeah. Over the last 3 weeks, they've lost 2 games. Here you go, Melbourne. They'll lose to Port Adelaide over there. They'll drop out of the 4, potentially out of the 4, go to 5th. If they lose more, who knows? But they just love seeing Melbourne or writing Melbourne off. But on the inside, I know how hard they work, and they're coached very, very well by Simon Goodwin, and around the ball, I know how quickly they can turn it back. They've got stars in there. We mentioned pre-game, Roo, they don't have a lot of people that rotate through that midfield, but the people that are in there, outstanding. Led by Max Gawn.
Let's head down to the Melbourne change rooms right now. And Jake Lever has been kind enough to give us his time on Triple M footy. Melbourne home by 31 points. Jake, here's Mark Rasciuto with the first question to throw your way. Actually, no, Bernie Vince has put his hand up. He wants to have a chat to you.
Hey, how you going, Jakey boy? A pretty good win there tonight, an important one because you'd lost 2 of the last 3 and no better place to win than on the road against another top 4 side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we were really disappointed with last week. We thought that the contest was led by GWS all game, probably except for that last quarter where we really turned it on, but weren't able to score. So we had a big emphasis this week, and especially off a short break for what the boys did. It was exceptional, and I guess these games are really like finals, so we just want to prepare ourselves best way possible, and I thought the boys really stood up tonight.
How happy were you seeing Cozzy Pickett back hitting the scoreboard? Because he does a lot of the unrewarded stuff, that forward 50 pressure, inside forward 50 tackle. And tonight, I think he had 9 tackles in total, and obviously kicking the 3 goals. It was just a matter of time before he turned his form around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Cozzy, as you said, he does all the unrewarding stuff. But for him to be able to hit the scoreboard tonight, I thought was fantastic. But I thought the big boys down there were great too. Tommy Mack, Fritter, Luke Jackson, Benny Brown, they really competed in the air, and they were able to bring the ball down for the likes of Cozzy, Nibs and Sparg. So I thought it was a great effort, and we still kicked 12 goals 14. We kicked more points than goals, so hopefully we can fix that soon, because if we can kick 16 or 17 goals, I'll be a happy man down the back line.
Jake Roo here. Harrison Petty maybe played his best quarter of his career in the third quarter. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he's a star. I love Pets. He's been someone that's been at the club now for, I think this is his 4th year, and we've been able to see the potential from day one, but what he's producing week in, week out now, considering that we lost Adam Tomlinson, who was so important to the way that we play, for him to be able to step up and start really beating his 4, but now he's taking marks and being really confident with himself, so it's a bloody pleasure to watch.
You were smacked around the footy last week against the Giants, as you mentioned. A lot of your scoring chains were reliant on yourself and Stephen May and Pets, as you said, to win the ball back across half-back line. Short turnaround. How did you turn that around, or is that just attitude?
I think it's just a mindset thing, and we just spoke about that in the meeting then. Be bloody happy with what we produced tonight, but we've got to get out of the habit of being really up and down, and I guess when you sit second on the ladder, a lot of teams are below you, but seems to be that the teams that are outside the top 8, I don't know what it is, if it's our mindset, if it's the way that we go into the game, but at the minute they're the teams that are challenging us. But then when we play a top 4 side or a top 8 side, we really bring the pressure when it's needed. But I think it's purely a mindset thing. As you said, we didn't really train this week. Yesterday and Monday was our 2 training sessions, and we did stuff all. So it's basically a mindset thing. But it's great that we can draw on this experience and to be able to put the contest like we did tonight. I think we were plus 16, and I think we were about plus 25 in the back half. So I think it's just a great effort, and you can easily see that it's just a mindset thing.
Yeah, Maxi Gawn, your captain and 150 game player. He played a ripping game, but he might be in the mark of the year frame for the wrong reason.
Again.
I think Mr. Georgiadis sat right on top of his head.
Yeah, I've already apologised to him because I was on Georgiadis at that stage, and I just basically nodded my head and thought, geez, I'm not sure I could have stopped that. But yeah, I've already apologised to Max, so I'm not sure he'll talk to me for the first half of the week.
Well, Jake, look, big win. Well done. Go and enjoy it. And thanks for joining us on Triple M Footy.
Thanks very much, guys.
And what the hell happened to your voice?
Yeah,
you sound like me on a Sunday.
It happens every week, man. I don't know what's happened to it.
Been punched in the throat.
Yeah, too many times.
There he is, Jake Lever, the star Melbourne defender. The Demons home by 31 points. McDonald's, the McFamily has arrived at Macca's.
Oh, yeah.
Get a free limited edition glass Baz, as you've done.
I've got one.
With every medium or large McFamily meal. As we look back on this game, Mark Scudo and Bertie Vince.
Got to have 2 of them, one for your mate.
Of course.
In case he comes around.
And as I said, I don't want to harp on it, but I just don't understand the whole medium.
Back on top of the ladder, the Demons. They look good up there, Byrne, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Up there on 52 points.
Spent most of the year up there, Roo. But the big thing, and we've mentioned it, how well do they play against the good teams?
No,
and you'd much rather that than just beat up or being called flat track bullies like some other teams get called around the place. So, yeah, certainly they'll go deep in September.
And Byrne, you made a good point earlier on. People are waiting for Melbourne, and I was one of those. I was thinking tonight
I was
maybe
almost one of
they're
them
going to be falling off. But come to Adelaide, a big game against the top team, on the back of losing 2 in a row.
Short turnaround.
But they've stood up to every challenge this year, Melbourne, really. Like Richmond Brisbane and then beaten, was it Geelong, and they've Bulldogs. So they've stood up when it counted. So really interested to see where they go. And on the flip side, Port Adelaide, I mean, it's going to be a horrendous little patch from here. Luckily, on paper at least, their draw looks gettable for a couple of wins going forward. But after a loss like this...
That's not going to prove anything, though. They had a couple of those wins against Freo and those sort of sides. And
Gold Coast.
You don't learn anything out of them. That's not... Everyone knows they can do that. And they did it against Sydney a couple of weeks ago. It was a great one. I thought that might have been a confidence booster for them.
They got fronted as well. Sydney hit the front late in that last quarter as well, and we all thought, oh, here we go, another top 8 side they're going to lose to. But they showed a bit of character, Roo. Showed a bit of character, fought back, and I thought maybe they're just over that hurdle. But now the questions will come again about playing good sides. And you're right, Roo. As a player out there, you notice that, you feel that, and you want to prove the footy public wrong. And you could see the disappointment in the players walking off of Port Adelaide, all had their heads down and thinking, oh no, here they come again, another tough week. We're going to have to cop it. We play. Who do they play next week? I'm not sure.
They got the Saints next week.
So that becomes a big game as well. Saints are back in form too. So, I mean, it doesn't stop. There's no easy game in footy, and anyone can beat anyone. But yeah, they've got a real point to prove. I'm almost saying Port Adelaide can't win it now. If they can't win games like this, or almost be competitive, they were sort of uncompetitive there for. It could have been a real belting there. And when they're challenged against these top 4 teams, they haven't just lost and gone down to them. They've been belted by some of them and just looked almost half embarrassing at times. So I'm pretty safe to say that I feel that they can't win it unless they can. I don't know what they're going to change, but there's no real personnel coming back. I mean, Butters came back.
Well, they got some coming back, but they've got Butters going out.
He's going out again.
And Robbie Gray's not going to be back until the finals. They're players that win games off their own boots. So that was up there. Might be the worst. Brisbane was bad. West Coast was bad. That's equally, I think, because those ones were away on their decks. This was on your own deck, and 31 points flattered them.
And I think as well, Roo, it's on the back of Ken Hinckley saying we're going to be better later on, like in the year. When we get our players back, it's all going to build, and it's a bit like it's all going to happen. Well, looking at tonight, that's not what's happening, is it?
And he keeps going on, we're good at the moment, but we're not great yet. Just give us some time. We'll be great in the back half, as you're saying. But that back half, we're round 17 now. When are they going to be great? I don't think they can be. So, I mean, I don't know. Big question marks on Port Adelaide anyway. I don't want to whack them too much while they're down. But,
there's no
can't
easy wins either.
There's no easy wins. Like
Where's
St Kilda.
the St Kilda game? Where's that being played next week?
In Melbourne.
Yep.
That's in Melbourne. So St Kilda are up and about, playing pretty good footy the last month, and you see teams drop in and out of form. They're right in form at the moment.
Yep.
Their midfielders are up and about. Brad Crouch is playing well. Luke Dunstan's come into that side and playing really well. So there's no easy game in footy, and it continues again for Port Adelaide.
You drop off, and you can just see the other side smell it.
They're a chance to finish fifth, I think, Port. If you look at the draw, there's some 50-50 games there. They're going to have to be on their toes.
Yeah. Big month coming up for Port, that's for sure.
So the most disappointing thing for you out of that game for Port, was it the uncompetitive nature at times? Is that
well,
what
the last quarter they didn't give anything, but they showed a bit of grunt in the
third quarter. They came out, and that was when they had to score because they got a rocket at half time. They were down by, I think, 20-odd points at half time, and they came out and they had to score, so they actually moved the ball. We said, stop playing slow. Stop thinking you're going to kick to Lever and May. Just get it in there quickly. And they did it and scored quickly. Got it down to single digits pretty quickly, the margin, and then gave up those 2 goals, if you remember, to Tom McDonald late in that third quarter. It all of a sudden went from 9 points out to nearly 20, and then coming back from 20 points down at three-quarter times, always going to be tough. Everything has to go right, and especially when Melbourne kicked the first one, it was always going to be really tough.
A lot of change to kick goals, but the big thing for Melbourne tonight was Benny Brown coming back. How would that affect their forward line? Is that it going forward? Brown in, or Wiedemann, or whatever? It's Jackson, it's McDonald, you said, kicking goals down there. Did you like what you saw? Do you think, can you see that moving forward over the next 5, 6, 7 weeks? Is that it? Is that how Melbourne are going to hit September?
Yeah, I didn't like the start to Ben Brown's game tonight. I think he got worked under the ball too easily, and he was a bit uncompetitive, but he worked back into the game, took some crucial marks out on that far wing a few times, and that just releases the pressure, allows the forwards to reset. You're not going fast into where their spares are going forward. So I can see it's out of him and Wiedemann. Wiedemann had a really good game in the VFL last weekend, and Ben Brown had a really quiet game. So, I mean, that was just purely off the back of them wanting to score more. Last week, they continued to kick the ball inside 50, and they didn't. Fritsch was basically their only target because Tom McDonald was playing so high. So they needed to bring someone in, whether that be Wiedemann or Brown going into finals. I like the look of Brown today. There's a few. He probably got worked under the ball early.
That's what he's
going
to get out of his game.
If he can get that out, all he needs to do is bring the ball to ground. He'll get the easy ones, the easy lead-ups, but when it's in high and long, that's when he can get worked under the footy. So that's a little bit of a concern. I don't think it's a lock for Ben Brown that he's going to be in this side for the rest of the season coming into finals. I think he's got an opportunity. He'll definitely play next week and probably for the next few weeks. If Wiedemann keeps knocking down the door at VFL level, which he is at the moment, he'll get another opportunity. But he got an opportunity for 3 or 4 weeks and was really uncompetitive, had basically a month of stinkers. So he had to go out of the side. He had to, even though we thought he was probably the man for that role. But, I mean, Ben Brown comes in, gets his opportunity. I thought without kicking a goal was very serviceable. Brought the ball to ground, as I said, and took some marks. Brought the Smalls into the game. We saw Cozzy Pickett kick a few goals off the back of, some ground balls inside 50. So I think he was serviceable. We'll certainly play the next couple of weeks, and that'll be a trial.
Well, there it is, beautifully ripped apart by Bernie Vince and Mark Rasciuto, Thursday night footy. All right, boys, the awards, the Triple MVP Award for Mongrel Boots. Mongrel Boots, comfy boots, built for long days on site. Coming into this game, Ollie Wines, 24, had a 5-point buffer on Marcus Bontempelli and Sam Walsh.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ollie, I didn't get him in the votes tonight. He still had 33 possessions and had a bit of an impact around the footy, but I actually gave 1 vote to Harry Petty. I thought he had a really big night for Melbourne. He only had 12 disposals, but 8 of them were intercept possessions. He had 7 marks, 4 big intercept marks too, and was crucial. And some of these things he did weren't on the stat sheet. He had some big spoils that created goals, some lunging, diving tackles, saving goals as well. So I thought he deserved to be in the votes. Clayton Oliver, 2 votes, 31 disposals, 21 of them contested. He had 5 centre bounce clearances on his own, 11 clearances in total. He was outstanding. It was tough to pick between him and Petraka, but Petraka just got the 3 votes just ahead of him. He had 33 disposals, 7 clearances. 6 tackles, 6 inside 50s, and he kicked 3 goals. I know a couple of them were Joe the Gooses over the top, but he still kicked 3 goals and was outstanding around the footy. So always like to put someone in there that doesn't get rewarded on the stat sheet. Fair, Roo? You're groaning a little bit.
No, I was just keeping you honest. I thought he was very good. Tom McDonald, maybe a fraction stiff, but Petty, he was a rock down there when he needed to be.
Oh, beautiful stuff. The Triple MVP Award for Mongrel Boots. Mongrel Boots, comfy boots, built for long days on site. Choice hotels around the grounds. Of course, we've got the Bombers and the Crows. Looking forward to that clash. Who are you leaning to there, boys?
I think to the Bombers.
I think the Bombers win now with Tex going out. And Brown's out as well, is he?
Yes, Luke Brown's out.
Baz, you're a Bombers man from way back.
They might get the job.
I think Tipper might kick a few now, Luke Brown's out.
And also the semis underway at Wimbledon. Ash Barty is locked with Kerber in a 40-all opening game there. So Wimbledon semis, that's Choice Hotels around the grounds. That's us done for a Thursday night. Baz, go and enjoy everything Adelaide's got to offer, mate.
Lovely.
Take it easy, Baz. Take it easy.
The dancing
He's
shoes
away
on.
from the missus.
It was Melbourne coming to town and getting it done. 12-14-86 the Demons. Port Adelaide 8-7-55. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
Exactly, mate.